As you know, we will soon be entering the latest version of Zenless Zone Zero, version 2.2. And of course, we will be getting a new banner that will be released soon. And who else could it be but Seed? Seed is an agent who plays the role of attacker and has a unique ability, requiring one other teammate with the attacker role to maximize her kit. This means she will have a new team composition, namely a team with the double attacker composition. Of course, this composition is unusual, so it's interesting for us to observe. I'm sure you are all eager to learn more details about this character, aren't you? So without further ado, I'm Hoyo Station and we are going to discuss the ultimate guide of Seed version 2.2. Let's do this. Do you have a character or weapon in the game that you really want but you don't have enough Stellar Jades? Here's a smarter way to recharge your favorite games like Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail. Look no further than Lootbar. Lootbar is the most reliable top-up platform. It saves up to 23% for all orders compared with the official channel, and it provides an 80% off for your first purchase. It's 100% safe as you will only be using your UID. We will buy pack for 3,000 Stellar Jades for $42, which otherwise would have costed $50, totally saving $7.5. We received the crystals we purchased in the less than 3 minutes. All recharges will be done through the official channel with MiHoYo, which allows you to enjoy all top-up offers. Ready to level up your gaming experience? Check the link in the description to get the amazing discount. Before we delve deeper into her kit, we will briefly discuss her base stats first. Seed has overall stats that are very similar to Soldier Zero NB, who has the same role and attributes. The most striking difference here is in the critical value, which is one of the most important stats for an agent with the attacker role. Unlike Soldier Zero NB, who has a critical rate of 19.4%, Seed has the same critical rate as the average agent, which is only 5%. However, interestingly, Seed has very high critical damage, guys, which is 78.8%, while the average agent only has a critical damage of 50%, including Soldier Zero NB. As of now, only Yuan has a critical damage of 78.8%, making Seed the second agent with such high critical damage. Of course, this will affect her critical value needs, as she already has high critical damage from the start. Next, we will discuss the core components of Seed's kit first. Just like most existing characters' mechanics, Seed has a special mechanic called Steel Charge, which is located below her character icon. Steel Charge has a maximum of 150 points, with a minimum of 60 points earned when the battle begins. There are several ways to get Steel Charge, but the easiest way is when Seed uses energy to perform an EX special attack or when attacking enemies. For every 1 energy we use, we will gain 0.5 Steel Charge. This effect also applies to other attacker characters who gain the Vanguard. Okay, now that we've discussed her main mechanics, let's move on to her basic attacks, which have 3 versions. For the first version, which is called Basic Attack, Chrysanthemum Wheel Dance will deliver 4 attacks forward, with the 3rd and 4th attacks dealing electric damage. When hit during the 4th attack, Seed will automatically trigger evasion. Now what's interesting is that when Steel Charge exceeds 120 points, we can hold down the Basic Attack button and she will trigger the next version of Basic Attack, called Basic Attack Falling Petals Slaughter. And for the second version of Basic Attack called Basic Attack Falling Petals Slaughter, this skill will summon a mecha to attack enemies with its fists, dealing massive damage. Actually, to activate this skill, it can be done in several ways, such as after using the 4th attack from the first version of the basic attack, using an EX special attack, dodge counter, quick assist, or assist follow-up. Then we must hold down the basic attack button when we have at least 120 Steel Charge. In addition, Seed also has a 3rd version of the basic attack called Falling Petals Downfall. Well, this 3rd version of the basic attack has a very good effect, as it will deliver a very deadly attack. When Seed has at least 120 Steel Charges upon activating Basic Attack Falling Petals Slaughter or Ultimate Clockwork Garden Bloom, by holding down the Basic Attack button, which will consume 60 Steel Charge, Basic attack falling petals downfall can be activated up to 2 times in a row, with the second attack causing massive damage of up to 1900%. Next, we will discuss her core passive and additional abilities, which also have unique effects and differ from most existing agents. From the effect on the core passive, called the Flower Chain Protocol, Seed will grant a special status to another attacker character in the team named Vanguard. When Seed uses her EX special attack, Vanguard will receive a buff called Direct Strike, which increases attack by 1000 points and critical damage by 30%. Conversely, when Vanguard activates her EX special attack, Seed will receive a similar buff called Onslaught. Interestingly, when these two buffs are active simultaneously, Seed and Vanguard will receive an effect called Besiege, which will increase their damage by 30%. This buff lasts for a long time, specifically 40 seconds. With such a long duration, we can keep the buff active throughout the battle, as long as Seed and one of her teammates continue to use EX special attack. As for her additional ability, despite its rather simple effect, it's great for replenishing the energy of Vanguard, especially when Seed is on the field for a long time. This will allow agents with Vanguard to use their EX special attacks more frequently. Additionally, this skill can significantly increase the damage output of Seed's kit, such as Basic Attack Falling Petals Slaughter, Basic Attack Falling Petals Downfall, and Ultimate Clockwork Garden, as it will boost damage by up to 30% and ignore 25% of the enemy's electric resistance. Okay, now we are going to move on to her EX special attack, which is called Special Attack Withered in Frost. When this skill is activated, Seed will enter a special mode called Flight Mode, which allows Seed to move in 4 directions and continuously fire multiple missiles at enemies. Uniquely, after this mode is activated, it will continuously consume energy until 60 energy is consumed. After Flight Mode has consumed 60 energy, Basic Attack Falling Petals Slaughter will automatically be activated. Next, we will move on to the ultimate section, called Ultimate Clockwork Garden Boom. Besides having a cool visual, her ultimate has a very good effect because it will deal massive damage, up to 6500%. This ultimate is quite strong even when compared to Miyabi's ultimate. Seed's ultimate deals about 2000% more damage. Additionally, this ultimate will restore 60 of Seed's steel charge. This makes her ultimate one of the important skills that you need to use at the right time. And finally, we move on to her final part of her kit, which is the MINDSCAPE section. For the first MINDSCAPE called the Hibernation Period, this MINDSCAPE will completely reduce the steel charge consumption required when activating Basic Attack Falling Petals Downfall to 100 steel charge. Additionally, when Seed enters battle, Seed will gain 40 steel charge, and when using the ultimate, she will gain 20 steel charge. And finally, when using Basic Attack Falling Petals Downfall, Seed's critical damage will increase by 30%. Honestly, this MINDSCAPE is quite good for increasing Seed's flexibility and damage output. Because the required steel charge is reduced, Seed will clearly find it easier to use her best skill. For the second MINDSCAPE called the Light Absorption Technique, well, this second MINDSCAPE has a very good effect, guys. When Besiege is active, the agent with that status will deal damage that ignores 20% of the enemy's defense. When activating the EX special attack and consuming 60 energy, Seed can continue to consume energy up to 120 energy or until the special attack button is released. For every 5 energy used, the damage from the subsequent Basic Attack Falling Petals Slaughter will increase by 5%. This makes the damage output from the EX special attack even greater. For the fourth MINDSCAPE, called Fragrant Tune, when the Besiege status is active, the decibels produced by Seed will increase, as will the ultimate damage dealt. Indeed, the effect of MINDSCAPE seems quite simple, but it's quite useful in triggering Seed's ultimate quickly and increasing her damage output. While the last MINDSCAPE is called Theory of the Heart, the effect of this MINDSCAPE is excellent because it will increase the damage of all her attacks, thanks to a permanent increase in critical damage. Additionally, each time basic attack volume pedal slower is used, Seed will fire 3 laser attacks, with each laser dealing 165% of Seed's attack in damage. Okay, now we will move on to the next part of this video, which is about her signature W engine called Cordis Germina. This W engine has a very nice effect, because in total, it will provide a very high increase in critical rate, 39% guys. In addition, this W engine will also increase electric damage by 30%, and this electric damage has a separate duration and is quite easy for Seed to trigger, because it has several versions of basic attacks. Furthermore, the additional 15% defense ignore for basic attacks and ultimate will further increase the damage inflicted on enemies, because as I explained earlier, Seed's basic attack and ultimate have very massive damage. Therefore, it's clear that the W engine is very suitable for the entire kit possessed by Seed. Finally, we will move on to the build of Seed itself. Since Seed is an attacker character, it's clear that the idle disc drive combination is 4 pieces of Dawn's Bloom and 2 pieces of Woodpecker Electro. The newest disc drive, Dawn's Bloom, permanently increases basic attack damage by 35%. Additionally, when used by an agent with the attack role, it increases basic attack damage by 20% for 25 seconds when using EX special attack or ultimate. Meanwhile, the Woodpecker Electro disc drive increases critical rate by 8%, which, as we know, Seed needs a high critical rate stat for her kit to function well. Oh yeah, here are some status recommendations you can use, guys. And what about the W engine that can be used? Currently, there are several W engine options available, but the best is Cordis Germina, which is her signature W engine. This W engine is a character-specific W engine with electric attributes and a kit that relies on basic attacks like Seed. However, besides this W engine, you can use other W engines like Severed Innocence from Soldier Zero NB because it can massively increase critical damage. Now we will move on to discussing teammates that are suitable for Seed. As I mentioned earlier, Seed is a character with a unique team formation that requires another agent with an attack role. Therefore, it's clear that characters with that role are suitable to pair with Seed. For example, there's Soldier Zero NB. This character is a strong candidate to be paired with Seed in a team because, besides having the same attributes, NB can be used as a sub DPS solely to activate the EX special attack Sundering Bolt. For the next character, of course it's Orphe. Although Orphe is an attacker character, she acts like a support character, assisting characters off the field by providing buffs and off-field attacks against enemies. Therefore, these two characters are quite interesting to use in the same team. Then for the last character, it's Harumasa. Although Harumasa is a free character, the combination of Harumasa and Seed still produces a pretty good result. Seed can be used on the field most of the time during combat, but we can also use Harumasa when the enemy is stunned because his damage is only maximized when the enemy is affected by that status. So, the question is Seed worth taking for you in the upcoming version 2.2? This character will be very worthwhile if you are personally aiming for Orphe, or if you currently have another reliable attacker, such as Soldier Zero NB, Evelyn or Harumasa, because even though this character has an interesting kit, she needs at least one other reliable attacker character on the team. But if you don't want to prioritize a team that relies on attacker agents right now, you can skip this character, as they don't have universal effects that can help the performance of other characters like most characters do. Since there are already many DPS agents with electric attributes, such as Soldier Zero NB, Harumasa, and Yanagi, this agent is not essential to obtain if you already have many characters with this attribute. Okay guys, that's probably all for this video. What do you think about Seed? If you have any questions, please type them in the comments down below. And don't forget to check out my other videos because they are just as cool. Thanks for watching, stay safe, stay healthy, and see you in the next video.